So today we came to see the big event of Old Faithful erupting at Yellowstone. And we are really excited because this is like the main attraction.
You ready to see it, Maddie?
Yeah.
It's going to be cool?
Yeah.
Cody, you going to be cool?
Yeah.
He's behind the camera back here because he don't want to be seen. All right, well, let's go see.
So where did we stay when we went to Yellowstone? For the most part, we stayed at Henry's Lake State Park. It is about 15 miles from Yellowstone, about 20 to 25-minute drive. It is in Island Park, Idaho. It's a great place, has about 83 sites. They are mostly water and electric, some full hookups, but not many. They book up way in advance. They have 2 different loops. I believe ours was a relatively newer loop. It has some flat asphalt sites. Our site had a beautiful lake view. We were in site 60. We loved the place that we stayed. The bathhouse has private showers. The kids gave it 5 stars for a state park.
Waiting for it to erupt, and the estimated time is 9:54 or 9:44.
Yep, there it goes. Yeah. Ooh. Is that cool?
Oh my goodness. The buffalo's over there like, bro.
That's pretty cool. Okay guys, so on the first day of our Yellowstone trip, we went to the most epic, famous place in Yellowstone, and that is the Old Faithful area. We went to see Old Faithful right away. It was about 45 minutes till we got to see it erupt, and we were so excited. The kids were really excited because that's one of the things they were looking forward to seeing the most, was the geysers and hot springs area in Old Faithful. After seeing Old Faithful erupt, we went on the overlook where you can overlook the whole geyser basin. You can see Old Faithful erupt from the upper area on top of a hill. It was about a half a mile up. Pretty steep, but not bad. We went up there and then continued the trail onto the Upper Geyser Basin.
All right, so we're headed up the observation point for Old Faithful.
Well, we've already seen it.
We did just see it erupt, which was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that was really cool. It didn't shoot that high up though.
Nah, that one was a little bit maybe less in height than some of the others.
I'm saying like 200 feet.
Alright, so we're making our way up the observation trail here to the top of the mountain so you can kind of see Old Faithful. I gotta keep looking down at my feet because it's kind of steep and rocky right here. How's the trail, Mama? Steep right here? Yeah. It's only a half-mile trail.
Yeah, but it's straight uphill all the time.
It is straight uphill quite a bit.
There's no downward slopes.
Nope. Nope, we're almost there. You can see Old Faithful back there behind us, the basin area. Y'all coming? Grand Geyser to erupt, and it's a little more predictable right now than it was years ago from what we found out. So
It's supposed to be pretty big.
yeah, so guys, what's it like sitting here waiting for the geysers?
Just waiting.
Just waiting on the pot to boil.
Waiting on the pot to boil? Is that what it's like?
Yeah.
just like
I mean, a
cooking
watch
food.
pot never boils.
Like,
That is true, a watch pot never
That's
boils.
probably why That's probably why it took so long.
So maybe we need to leave.
Maybe so.
We came across this area pretty much right on time. It said about 11:45 or 11:15, I think it was. We happened to come across this huge geyser area that only erupts, I believe it was only about every 6 hours. And we happened to catch it on the right time. And the kids were super excited because a guy there was telling us about it, that it was a huge eruption, different than Old Faithful. It was more of a fireworks type explosion and a lot longer.
And they're like 3 geysers right there together. So you get 3 for the price of 1, and you just kind of have to hang out a little while. But there was already a crowd there, so we figured that it shouldn't be too long. And after hearing that guy talk about it, he told us exactly what would happen. The pool would rise, and then you would see one of the smaller geysers go off, and if the pool didn't fall, then that meant that the Grand Geyser was going to go off pretty soon.
Kids were excited. It was probably about 12 minutes long that we got to see it erupt, along with the other 2 that were small around it, so it made it even bigger. So that was a cool experience. And then you can continue on walking around the Upper Geyser Basin. It's a boardwalk area, maybe a mile and a half or so around, and then it takes you back to Old Faithful. So we were able to experience that whole area. Definitely go more than Old Faithful. Some people just go to see Old Faithful and don't continue to go out into the geyser basin.
But you miss all of the pools,
Yeah.
all of the fumaroles, all of the other geysers that you can see. And yeah, they're not as frequent. They don't go off as regular as Old Faithful.
But they're neat to see.
But it's a whole area that you should walk through, and not just Old Faithful.
And Cody really was excited about this. I think that was really a neat experience for him. He likes science, and he thought the geothermal areas were really neat, and took time to stop and watch. And I think that's pretty impressive for a teenager to do.
He liked it so much that we actually ended up seeing Old Faithful go off 4 times that day. Because as we were sitting at Grand Geyser, we were able to see it in the background going off, and then we saw it.
We picnicked afterwards.
Saw it after we picnicked, and then in the evening we were kind of riding around. We had seen Biscuit Basin and a couple other areas there, and he said, let's ride back one more time. And it was almost dark, and we saw the crowd amassing there, and it seemed that it might go off pretty soon, so we sat around and waited a few minutes, and it did.
Yeah.
And I think that he really enjoyed it. I believe Maddie really enjoyed seeing Old Faithful. But 4 times in a day, I think that's a record for us.
Yeah.
We've been here a couple of times and only seen it once or twice in a day. So really cool.
Definitely get out and see more than just Old Faithful in that area.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell them about the Old Faithful Inn.
Oh yeah, Old Faithful Inn is just a unique architectural structure, and it was built using the logs from around the area. It's a historical masterpiece. Unfortunately, it was closed when we were here due to some of the COVID closings, and you couldn't go in and see it, which was disappointing because I wanted the kids to really see the inside, the beams, the logs, and the fireplace. The fireplace is the coolest thing in there because you just go and you sit and chill, and then you can walk up into the levels, the upper levels, and look down into the lobby, and it's just a super facility. And if you want to stay there, you know, when it opens back up, it's a great place to stay, and I'd love to do that one day, just to say I've spent the night in Old Faithful Inn. So cool area, great eats around there too, or you can just picnic and have a great time.
As we were leaving the park, leaving Old Faithful, we were able to get a really good look at a young grizzly looking for food, scrounging around under logs. He was right off the road, and only about 3 or 4 people had stopped initially. So we were able to have a good view, take lots of pictures of this great grizzly bear. Okay, guys, we also wanted to let you know, if you have not heard about the National Park America the Beautiful passes, we have done this every time we've gone on one of our big trips where we know we're going to hit several national parks. It's definitely worth the money. Instead of paying an entrance fee to every park that you go to, you can get an America the Beautiful pass. It's $80 normally, and that gives you access to lots of things, even more than national parks. Wilson and I used it when we were out in Sedona for recreation areas and things like that we had access to with our America the Beautiful pass. So I would highly recommend you getting one. For those of you who have younger children, especially those that are in 4th grade, I'm holding this one. It says 4th grade on it because we had a 4th grader this year. The National Park Service offers families of 4th graders a free National Park Pass for the year. So you get to save $80 with your 4th grader by getting this pass. And all you have to do is go on online.
Cost you $0. I love that.
Yeah, to go tour all the national parks that you want for a year.
And so that was a big excitement because we knew we'd hit a lot of national parks this year, and so we got to save some money by doing that. What we did was go online to the National Park Service website, and on there I think there's a link that says something about the 4th grade program. You click on that and you just print out basically a certificate saying that you have a 4th grader and bring that with you to the National Park entrance station. And when you do that, they will ask to see the 4th grader, and when they did, they gave us a new card for a season pass. So it's definitely worth the money. $0 to be able to tour any national park.
One thing about it though is you can't just like use your kid to get a free pass and then you go to the parks. They're going to ask you,
That's right,
you know,
yeah.
where is the 4th grader? And so we were already in the habit, even in our first park, popping in and out, of rolling the back window down because they're going to ask where she is, and we just have her wave. So she knows just to wave and let the park ranger know, you know, she's back there. Because if you don't have them, then, you know, it would be kind of abusing the privilege.
Yeah, so they like to see the 4th grader every time you come in. So it's definitely worth it. So I suggest if you have a young child or one that's coming up into 3rd, 4th grade, being ready to take that big trip out to see some national parks with a free pass.
If you like our video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and get out there and make some memories.